Yo, it's your boy Bunky, and I know the title and the thumbnail of this video may be very, very unique. And you know what? I'm just gonna talk about my personal experience because I definitely believe that other people have probably faced the same experience that I have, and no one really talks about it. So that's the reason why I'm gonna make a video on this. And getting onto the topic of why I hate being horny. First, I just gotta say I think it's just stupid. I don't think this has any advantage in life. I think this has become a hindrance because just pornography and all this stuff has just made it more easy to get addicted to just I mean horniness. I think that it gives you that dopamine rush that you need just to be happy. And I think that being a Gen Z, someone born in the generation where we kind of got introduced to the internet at an early stage, it's been a crazy experience, but I love it. I think it's very necessary, and I love being part of my generation. There's a lot of benefits and negatives, but you know what? That's a part of life, and you just live with it. But I think the first time I heard about porn is when I was like 9, but the first time I watched it was like 11. And I know that this is probably like personal information, but you know what? I do not care because I think a lot of people have the same experience, and especially people in my generation. So honestly, I think I'm an open book, and it doesn't really matter how I think. I just say stuff, and I think that you just give out the energy that you want to give, and people give you the same energy back. I know I talk really fast. I am sorry for that. And I usually just watch videos on 2x speed, but for me, you don't really have to do that. But yeah, I think being introduced at porn at a young age and being in a generation where it's just been so easily accessible has been, I wouldn't say a hindrance on my life, but definitely in my younger life, it has. I always, my favorite thing to do, especially when I got into high school, was just talk to pretty girls, just text. And it's one of my favorite things about being in high school was just me trying to, get a girlfriend. That was like my goal of high school, but honestly, didn't work out. And it's been an amazing experience. I think it's that time of my life has been very beneficial because I know I'm not gonna do any stupid stuff like that again. I'm not gonna try to crave that dopamine hit from talking to an attractive girl, other than yesterday, but that's a part of the story. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, just because I think that horniness is just a hindrance. I don't like it because it really just affects my mind, and it affects a lot of other people's minds. I think horniness is like a thought, but it's not a feeling. A thought is something that is like a suggesting in your mind, but I think especially in Western culture, we think that thoughts are feelings, and it's hard to separate the two. So let's say I'm in Walmart and I decide, or I think that I should start screaming and cause a commotion. That is a thought, and I know that I'm not going to do that because I can just forget about it. But a feeling is kind of like an emotion that you kind of want to act towards, and a feeling that's most likely emotional. So something bad happens, I might want to cry, and just so I just follow it and just kind of get rid of that emotion. But we confuse thoughts and feelings, so I can have the thought of being of hungry and then want to get something to eat, but that's a thought. It's not a feeling. I don't have to do it, but I just do it anyway because I believe that it is a feeling or an emotion that I can just get rid of. It's very confusing, but life is a little complex, but you just go with the flow. That was the sidetrack. But it also does have to do with horniness, and I think that horniness is just a thought, but I think not being not having any guidance of being able to distinguish the two definitely has just led to me just being a very horny teenager, which, you know what, I have no shame in admitting it, because I think what he makes uh being horny, being a teenager that doesn't have a fully developed prefrontal cortex and just unlimited access to porn, it's not a good combination. So that's probably like the first story. Now the second story is that just yesterday I caught myself slipping, caught myself being a simp, and I think that was just stupid. Um Weird flex, but I was just talking to a girl that I thought was really attractive, and I just I knew that how much happiness I got, it really just inspired me to be a better person. And at that moment, I was just thinking, why? Why do I get this dopamine hit when I'm talking to a very attractive girl? It doesn't make any sense. And like the emotion or the feeling is amazing, but I know that it 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 doesn't really end well. It doesn't do anything to benefit my life other than think that I have a chance with this girl. That doesn't make any sense. And you know what? It's just confusing. Trying to think what I can say and what I cannot say about the conversation, but just realizing that, you know what, it's a very, being horny is a very, very useless emotion that I wish I can just turn off. If I had the option of being horny like once a month, or I mean once a week, or never being horny again, I'll choose never to be horny again. Because you know what, the only advantage that you get on an evolutionary scale is just being able to make babies. And honestly, if I lived in a world where people had superpowers like being able to fly, teleport, I would definitely think about having children. But since we don't live in that world, I think there's more good and bad than this world, but we only focus on the bad stuff. I'm not going to try to bring someone into this world that does not have their permission, which I don't know, it sounds very stupid, but I think it's just weird that we're all just born and we just decide to live. And I think putting that same experience on somebody else, most likely going to be my child. I don't know, it's a little bit weird, but I am 18, so I'm not really thinking about having any children. Maybe in the future, most likely adoption, but you know what, for now, that is a that's a tangent, and it doesn't make any sense. Sorry, but I just wanted to say that. Hopefully you may have more awareness, or just just think this video was interesting or somewhat like that. Thank you guys for watching. It's your boy Boomkey. Peace.